Welcome to the Points in the Paint podcast, Stadium's NBA podcast, Stadium's #1 NBA podcast. I'm Ben Wittenstein.
I am Zach Badgerhouse, always in the house. We are in the threshold of these here NBA playoffs, Ben.
We are. I'm excited. We're getting into the conference semifinals. All the series are close and fun and good and exciting. There's not one bad series, which I think is semi-rare. Sometimes there's like that one straggler NBA TV type of series. And this time around, though,
it's just funny.
We've got 4 fun series. We got 4 fun teams.
It's funny we use the phrase.
No offense to NBA TV.
We use the phrase NBA TV in terms of the lower games or lower series in these NBA playoffs. That's funny. But it hasn't really looked that way right now in terms of like NBA TV games or like competitive or getting blown out. There may be one series like that in particular, Miami Heat, New York Knicks.
Well, yeah, maybe
that one. Maybe
as of this recording, it's 2-1. It's possibly when you hear this, it'll be 2-2 or 3-1 in favor of the Heat. We can't tell the future, but that series could be the only one that really kind of gets away from it. Everything else has been
tied.
Great and
it's
fun.
All tied 2-2 to over 3.
And really, at this point, most of these series, you can see kind of any of the teams winning out, honestly.
Yes. Well, I don't know about winning out in terms of the championship, but at least winning out.
The series.
Winning the series, yes. So tell the people where we can get the podcast.
All good stuff. You can get it anywhere you get the podcasts. You can get us on YouTube, the Stadium YouTube. You get the beautiful Doug Watley running the sticks over there, producing all the good graphics and everything, so you can see our beautiful shining faces on Twitter and on YouTube. Get the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. Wherever you want your NBA content, you can find us.
Yes, indeed. So, OBT.
One big thing.
One big thing.
There's really the only one big thing to talk about here, Zach. And there's a lot we could have talked about, but I think we have to only talk about Devin Booker.
That's fine.
Because the man's been going off. He's been having an unbelievable amount of scoring, an unbelievable amount of good games. And he's the reason the Suns are tying it up 2-2 in that series.
Yep, and he might have a new nickname, Light Skin Mamba. At least that's what I heard earlier today.
Is that what people
I heard earlier today? Light Skin Mamba.
Oh, boy.
No, he's definitely putting on a shooting clinic, okay? The first game at home, game 3, he missed 5 shots. Second game, game 4 at home, he missed 4 shots total in the game. So that's 9 shots he's missed in the total between the last 2 games. Ben, that is absurd shooting, okay, in the last 2 games for the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker. I'm super proud because he caught a little slack in the playoffs the season before when they played the Mavs. You know what I'm saying? The Suns didn't look too hot. They caught a lot of heat for that. Definitely caught a lot of heat.
As they should have.
You fast forward to this season, this postseason, you got Booker playing lights out. Then, obviously we saw that Chris Paul went down in game 2. And so that set the team back. But I think that might have made them
Did it help?
Better.
Did it help? We can do a little.
No, I'm not saying.
Spin that headline a little bit. Chris Paul going down, maybe help the Suns?
Nah, I'm not going to be the one. I'm going to say this as softly as I can, Ben. I'm not going to be the one to say, okay, the Phoenix Suns are better without Chris Paul. However, we'll give them this. They play at a much faster pace, a better pace overall with campaign in the lineup. Ain't that a strange sentence to say at the end?
I hate it. It doesn't make any logical sense. As someone who watched campaign on the Bulls, I constantly think he should be nowhere near an NBA court come playoff time. But for whatever reason, the offense has been running smoothly without Chris Paul. And it's allowed Devin Booker and it's allowed Kevin Durant to get to their spots, do their scoring, and lead the Suns to what kind of looked like, I wasn't 100% one of those people, but I didn't think they were going to be able to tie it up. Once it was 2-0 leaving Denver, I thought, maybe the Suns win 1 game at home, but Denver's winning this series in 5 probably.
Wow.
Probably in 5 is what I thought.
See, that's that Jokic love. That's that Jokic love.
It is the
Jokic
love.
That's the Jokic love right there.
Chris Paul, you're thinking, all right, how much can Booker and Durant really do with the rest of this team that has no bench, doesn't have anyone really helping out? But then, what does Monty Williams do?
What we talked about last week.
Exactly what we talked about. TJ Warren coming in and help. Landry Shamet coming in and help. He's got guys on the bench that he could come in for whatever reason, didn't want to play in game 1, didn't want to play him in game 2, and figured out, hey, we're not going to have Chris Paul. We have to bring out all the stops. We have guys who have a track record of playing good basketball on our bench. Let's play them. It's not some big brain idea. It's for whatever reason. It took him 2 games to figure out, though.
It's just funny, man, because I was just sitting there like, man, what a round of applause, Zach, because you said it, man. You said that they need to play Landry Shamet. You said they need to see Terrence Ross. You said that we need to see TJ Warren. Like, these 3 guys are serviceable guys on that team. They go out. They got Landry Shamet playing.
But that hasn't seemed to matter.
Yeah, that's fine for right now. But Landry Shamet go out there and get 17 plus points off the bench in game 4. Like, you have to love that if you're Monty Williams. Like, the depth of this team, they actually have some. You just have to be willing, Monty Williams, to utilize the right players. Bro, Damian Lee can't see 15, 20 minutes in a game and go 0 for 5, 0 for 4. He out there just getting cardio. Like, we just can't have that. We just can't. It's just not necessary. So a guy like Biyombo, yes, he can go out there and play. But Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, to get back to these two guys, they've been the main guys, particularly Devin Booker, bro. 47 again in game 3. Game 4, go out there and put on another performance where he only missed 4 shots, 14 to 18 from the field being. Like, that's crazy. We talking about Devin Booker with Kevin Durant being like the sideshow, the sidekick in this matter for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, and it seems fine to be kind of being that second guy too, which you have to give him credit. There's a lot of superstars out there that would be like, I'm the superstar. Let me score. I'm doing my thing. Durant seems to be okay with letting Booker do his thing. And if they need Durant scoring, if they need his presence, then he'll step up and he'll usually come through. But he's just been allowing Booker to show because Booker's been hitting shots. He's been finding a spot on the court. A mid-range jumper.
Say it again.
He's been hitting some threes, but that mid-range jumper has been Booker's spot. He's been finding
one more time. Just say it one more time.
You love the mid-range. You love mid-range. That's what Booker's been doing.
I just want you to know that he working that mid-range area, and it is a work of art, Ben. I just want you to really know that.
Yeah, he's been good. Him and Durant.
On the flip side, your boy, your doughy son.
Yeah, little Michelin man.
He playing, I ain't gonna lie, he playing lights out. You know what's crazy?
You need some help.
I checked the box score. I didn't even realize, Ben. I'm watching the game, watching the whole game, Denver Nuggets game. I'm watching. Bro, I didn't even realize he was at 40, 45, 50. Bro, he finished the game, Nikola Jokic, with 53 points. Yeah. I didn't even realize he was doing that amount of scoring for the Nuggets in that game. Yeah, I swear I was not. It was like a sneaky 50. Now, how you get a sneaky 50?
I know. Well, I think he got 11 or 12 from the free throw line. But even then, it's like he's just so ungraceful that every shot he makes, you're like, you don't even process it. You're like, all right, that's a shot, I guess. It's nothing I'm going to remember at all. It just looks like a guy kind of stumbling into making a shot. So you don't really realize that he's up to 50 points, but he needs help. Jamal Murray's giving him help. He's at least been pretty consistent in this series.
Yep.
You need help from Michael Porter Jr. You need Michael Porter Jr., and we've been singing his praises all playoffs.
We have.
The guy needs to use his head. Guy needs to use his head. You have Jokic going off for 50-plus points. And then you have Michael Porter in a breakaway with a game on the line, down 3, pulls up for a really stupid 3-point jumper, and gets blocked.
You need 3, though. But what happens when you need 3? What happens when you need 3?
You had so much time.
Okay, there you go.
You got a guy who scored 50 points.
You got
a guy who scored 50 points, and you're not going to give him the ball?
Well, he 2 for 4 from 3, too, as well. Yep, Nikola Jokic was definitely 2 for 4 from the 3-point line.
And, you want more points from Aaron Gordon, but he's been doing
as
good of a job on defense.
And I was hoping if you was going to bring him up, I was going to say, you got to pick a side of the ball. You want him to play well on. You got to be defense or offense. I don't know if he's going to be willing to give you both.
I agree. No, I agree. If you want him to put in work, you want him defensively.
Yes.
He'll rest on the offensive side.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and put more pressure on that other guy we just mentioned, MPJ. Boy, step it up on offense.
Yeah, it needs to be the Jokic, Murray, Porter show. Really, offensively, that's really what it has to be, and that's the only way the Suns are going to be, or the Nuggets are going to be able to get to the finals, is if Porter is playing smart and he's playing consistently. They don't need 20 points from him, but they need 15 to 16. They need him to hit some threes. They need him to use his length on defense to get some steals. That's all they need from him. They don't need a big, showy 30-point game, because Jokic will take care of that, and Murray will take care of that. Yeah, they might.
And if you get it, you wouldn't be mad either. I know you wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, if he can do it, all the more power to him. The one other thing that we wanted to mention that was big this week that we didn't mention, Joel Embiid. Big guy, big moment, and he's the MVP. Finally.
Yes, he is. Finally.
Of the NBA.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Listen, I'm so happy for my man's Joel Embiid going out here and winning his MVP. Now, I wish that same night he would have balled out, but that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He's still a little injured.
He was still a little injured, give or take. But I am so pleased with the fact that he finally won this award. He was up for it. I think he came runner-up twice, 2 years in a row. Last year, a lot of people made a case that he probably should have won it. But, Jokic went back-to-back, and Jokic was here chasing a three-peat. Came pretty close to, going for 3 straight MVPs, Nikola Jokic. But it finally went to Joel, 2 scoring titles in a row for Joel Embiid last year and this season. Man, they played phenomenal all year. He played phenomenal all year, averaging over 30 a game. like just lights out scoring and just maximum effort on both ends of the floor. Ben, do you see how well Joel Embiid plays, how active he is on the defensive side of the ball in this series, in particular against the Celtics? I'm so happy with that, man. And then the fact that his whole story, not playing basketball until he was 15 years old, and just you get here now, 10 years later, 12 years later, you're an MVP of the National Basketball Association, the 5th in Philadelphia 76ers history. Kudos to him.
It's good, and it was warranted. He played really well down the stretch of the season. Jokic and the Nuggets took a month off. That's all it was. They took a month off.
That's all it was.
That's all. It took a month off. And it helped. You know, it's good because they moved on to the second round of the playoffs. They look good. They don't look like an exhausted team. So that clearly worked, but it worked to the detriment of Jokic getting minutes, playing well, caring about any of the games. So he didn't put up the stats that he did during the regular season. And the 76ers were still fighting, and Embiid put up the stats. And it's a lot of it's, what have you done for me lately? Have you played well throughout the whole season? And Embiid played a full season.
He did
Jokic played a full season minus a month. And that's, I think, what it came down to.
I would say a month, but he missed a few weeks to end the season, give or take, missed a few games. I still think he was, he was there. I think it was still close until probably April.
You think so?
So I think it was neck and neck. I honestly would say the MVP race was neck and neck until at least April. When Jokic started missing those games, and then obviously after that situation between Denver and Philly when they were supposed to play, and then Embiid was gonna play but didn't play in that game because of injury. He had played the game before, which he probably shouldn't have played, just so we can get that head-to-head matchup. The first head-to-head matchup. Hey, Joel, 47, he's wing dinner, no fries. You know how I am. So I don't know, Ben.
It's interesting. Good for Embiid though. Honestly, he did it. People were talking about him last year.
Yep.
Maybe could have won. He finally did it this year. It meant a lot to him. So that was cool to see.
International players have now won it in a row. NBA history world record. That's
crazy. Good for them. Let's move on to our next segment. This is a one-time segment that I maybe come back. As the playoffs get near. But this is we're doing this segment because of how close a lot of these series are. And we're going to go through each series and give one big question for all 4 series.
Yep.
All 4 series, one big question. So, my question to you, Zach, we'll go with Phoenix and Denver.
Yep.
Can the Suns' core of Booker and Durant, can they be consistent? Can they consistently put up those numbers? Because we saw Booker and KD combine for 72 points in Game 4. And they won that game.
They did.
And clearly without Chris Paul, it allows them to give them more space to maneuver and operate.
And just more
can they
more
do it
speed
consistently?
and with the tempo. I think the true test shows with campaign. I remember hearing a soundbite, and I believe it was Game 3. You know how they have the microphones throughout the game.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty confident campaign had the mic for that Game 3. Chris Paul said something to him that I thought was important for just his confidence level campaign. And that's to lead your team tonight. This is your team. You're the floor general. You lead this team tonight. I think with Chris Paul telling campaign that prior to Game 3 in that series, it kind of gave him another extra boost of confidence. I know he's going to feed off the crowd. He did that in Game 3 and Game 4 campaign. My biggest question now, though, Ben, take this back to you, is will he be able to have that same mentality, that same energy, and bring that same level of tempo in Denver this time around? Because I think that's what's going to be important. I know D-Book at this
point.
Playing
in Denver is going to be tough.
He's going to ball. D-Book going to ball. KD, I expect them both to ball.
Okay.
Cam, to put this all together,
can he do
pace, tempo, like you did these last 2 games, can you do it again? I hope so. I want to see them be able to win this game. They got to win a game on the road. Suns got to win a game in a row. So I want to see them try to go out there and do that for that Game 5.
All right, Golden State and Los Angeles. The one big question for that series that we have, can LeBron, can AD specifically,
more importantly,
and the rest of the Lakers role players, can they be consistent? And the real question that stemmed from this is Anthony Davis.
Yep,
can Anthony Davis play consistently? Because the games that he has had, great Game 1, bad Game 2, great Game 3, Game 4. He's been up, down, up, down. Is he going to have a bad game after a big Game 4? Is this going to be a team? Yeah. Is this going to be a guy that can be consistent offensively? Because he's a player that you watch play at his best, top 5 player in the league. Easily. Rebounding, defense, scoring, he'll give you all of it. But there's times when he can't hit the bottom of the bucket to save his life.
I saw a tweet that said, Anthony Davis' ceiling, Ben, is anywhere from Joel, Nikola Jokic, the best of the best as it relates to front court big guys.
Yeah.
The floor, JaVale McGee. Like, that was the level. Like, that
I don't think that's like a ridiculous notion.
For Anthony Davis when he's not playing well. No, you can't go 4 for 14, bro, and be Anthony Davis, superstar talent, defensive player of the year in this league at a point. Like, had the keys to a franchise at a point in time and perform at an elite level. You can't go out here in the playoffs and just get 11 points, 14 points. Like, that's just not ideal. That's not okay. So day-to-day got to be every day.
Got to be at least 20 points. You can't have a game 2 where you score 11 points. You can't. You can't. New York and Miami. Question for them. As you watch this series, it looks like Miami's playing really well. They're up 2-1 as of this recording. New York clearly has to make adjustments. But my question from this series is, as you watch both of these teams, are either of these teams finals material?
Oh, heavens no. No.
Heavens no.
Heavens no.
Heavens no.
The Knicks, no, because Tibbs just failed to make adjustments offensively.
Okay.
Like, bro, y'all ain't making no threes, bro. So if y'all go 8 for 30, bro, you got to switch it up. You got to get to the free throw line. See, the biggest key to go back to that Lakers-Warriors series being, it's the free throw detriment for the Warriors. They're not keeping up with the Lakers at getting to the free throw line. So that's why there was a big disparity in that previous game where they got blown out. This second quarter, they just said, we're going to go to the line, we're going to attack the rim, we're going to attack the basket, and we're going to get y'all heated too so we can get some technical fouls thrown in there too.
Yeah, that's a nice strategy move.
So, like, when you have that element for the Knicks with not being able to adjust offensively under Tibbs, and then you got Spo, who's the coaching wizard.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, you look what he's done with the players.
ridiculous.
It's insane. And that's my thing with the Miami Heat is I didn't think they could even make it this far.
Bro, Gabe Vincent is like the second leading scorer on the team. Who was that? School he go to? All of that. Dougie Fresh. Like, bro, I'm tired of this. I'm really tired, bro.
I was watching that game, and you could watch any Miami Heat game in the playoffs, and you look at the lineup, and you're like,
Who is
any
this
other
dude?
coach, any other team, this team would win 20 games. So I don't know. Like, I can say neither of these teams are built for the finals, but the Miami Heat have surpassed any expectations that I have had for them in this entire playoff run so far. So maybe they are. Maybe they are a legitimate finals team. I don't know.
No.
With the way they played,
no,
they just keep on trucking. They keep on playing Miami Heat basketball. They keep winning.
No.
Finally, question for the Celtics and the 76ers series, kind of similar to the Lakers. Can the 76ers offense stay consistent? Because we saw when they won their game 4, Embiid and Harden combined for 76 points, and they played a pretty good pick and roll game. You saw a good game from Embiid. You saw a good game from Harden. Great game, honestly, from both players. Can they do that consistently? Because if they do, they're winning that series. They're coming back.
I don't know the name of the kid, the student, the Michigan State student. Don't remember his name, but he was at the game. He was part of the mass shooting. He was a survivor for the Michigan State mass shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was at the game. Big James Harden fan. James goes out there and plays enormous, has an enormous game. 42 points, like 8 rebounds, 9 assists. James balled in that game 4 and hit the game-winning shot and hit the game-tying shot to go to OT. So shout out to you, James. In that game 1 was phenomenal. Game 2 and 3, I don't even know who that was out there. It probably wasn't even you, man. I don't know what that situation was. But game 1 and game 4 in particular for James Harden was phenomenal. However, I bring the kid up from Michigan State, the student, because he might have to show up every game the rest of this series in order for us to get that James Harden the rest of this series against Boston.
He's been inconsistent too. He's like AD.
He may have to go out there and make sure my man's that was in that wheelchair, sitting baseline, sitting courtside with his family, he may have to be there. And whatever song Doc Rivers sent to James Harden before the game, the gospel song that they were speaking out in the post game, run it back and keep it on loop. They might have to play it in practice and shoot around, because listen, whatever it takes for James, it's all about James. It's literally all about James Harden.
You're going to get from Embiid. You know what the production you're going to get from Embiid.
They're 0-2 when James plays terrible. 2-0 when he plays great. It's basic math.
That's math. That's easy math. Easy math. Let's finish it up, Zach. Couple betting things. You know, we're betting men. We're betting boys. I don't know if we're great or good, but we have fun.
We're really average for real in the playoffs. It's been pretty mid. I
wish I was average in the playoffs. I'll be honest.
Real mid.
I would be feeling a lot better about my betting if I was average in the playoffs.
I got one bet that's rolling. I know you do too. What you got?
So let's talk about the series price for one series in particular that's pretty close. Nuggets and the Suns. We talked a lot about them off the top. Nuggets are minus 160 to win the series. You can get the Suns at plus money at plus 135. You see any value? Maybe taking the Suns as an underdog, going back to Denver for Game 5.
Yes.
You like
Absolutely.
the Suns, plus 135 to win the series.
Who's stopping Devin right now, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone. Well, Aaron Gordon can only guard one of them.
You can only guard one. You got to pick your poison. Because Bruce Brown, barbecue chicken alert. It don't matter if he guarding Devin. Don't matter if he guarding Nicole. It don't matter if he guarding Kevin Durant. It's barbecue chicken alert every single time, Ben. It doesn't really matter. That mid-range, you see that mid-range work, baby.
Yeah,
you see it.
It's silky.
Yeah.
It's silky. Him and Durant.
I just want him, Doug. I just want Ben to really just appreciate the mid-range game. The more and more we continue this podcast, the more games we see, because them boys be out there working that midi, and it be super efficient and effective. I know 3 more than 2, but 2 better than 0 every time, Dougie. I be trying to let my mans know over here.
That's just math. That's the slogan for the show. That's just math. We got some props that we have liked to bet for throughout this playoffs. Mm-hmm. My favorite prop so far is the Bam Adebayo points under. Usually it's around the 17, 18 mark. You can get it high as 19, 20, slam the under. He's just not a huge part of the offense that the Miami Heat play. They have so many other weapons, Gabe Vincent type of weapons that they go to that isn't Bam Adebayo. And he'll do some cleaning up on the boards every so often, but he won't get a lot of second chance points. He very rarely gets above 16 points.
He underperforms, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
If I had to evaluate Bam Adebayo, he underperforms. Yeah. He's been underperforming all playoffs. Like, if I had to assess it that way, that's the way I would do it.
Points-wise, for sure.
Like, points-wise, he has been underperforming. Yeah. Doesn't take a lot of shots. Doesn't look to score as much as I think he should. Like, I can't.
Mitchell Robinson.
Bro, they killing.
Lockdown defender.
I hope not. I just seen Bam. I saw Bam dunk on Julius Randle, so maybe Ju may try to get some get back tonight. I hope so.
Possibly.
Hope so, but Bam Adebayo has definitely underperformed in this series from an offensive production perspective.
You like a guy, this is pretty obvious. Devin Booker.
D-Book, baby. Wet like I'm Book. Devin Booker easily, for the last 5 games, being that knocked down all these crucial shots in this game. I'm talking big shots, too. Yeah. 3rd quarter, 4th quarter. He's coming down, knocking out big shots, averaging like 36 in the playoffs.
Something stupid.
Something crazy. But he's going over his point total for the last 5 games. Y'all see it. 47, 38, 36, you know what I'm saying?
Can't stop him. There's no defensive strategy that can stop him.
His point total's been like 31, 30 and a half so far this series, around there. So I think you can really just expect D-Book to go out there and match that point total.
Yeah, good luck.
I really do, because he's been playing lights out. You heard the one big thing. Been playing lights out, man.
All it is.
So that concludes this edition of the Points in the Paint podcast presented by Stadium. I am Zach B. That's my man's Ben Wittgenstein. You know we got Dougie Fresh on the 1s and 2s, and we appreciate him so much. Got to tell him every week. Appreciate you, big dog. And you can catch us every week. Don't forget, my man's Ben Wittgenstein, Sharp Lessons, every week with the professor, Nate Jacobson.
Good old Nate.
Do not want to miss that. NITA, Inside the Association, is now every day now. 5 days a week, baby. Inside the Association, Cam Smith. We got a new guy with us, Harrison.
We got Shams, too.
Harrison Ford. We got our man, Shams Sharani, and Pat Garrity still will be tuning in throughout the week. So you do not want to miss that. We're giving you all this great NBA content through @PointsPaint. Wherever you get your socials, wherever you get your socials, whatever you get your podcast, 2 Points to Paint podcast, and you will hear from us next week.